Welcome to Hong Kong, the thriving Asian metropolis at the mouth of the Pearl River. Hong Kong is Asia's most modern metropolis. But the facade of its 21st century storefront belies Hong Kong's inner spirit, its rich heritage as the center of Asian lore and myth, and its wellspring of cultural treasures. The sea gave life to Hong Kong and still does today. Here on one of Hong Kong's 235 outer islands, the old meets the new. We're making our way to the island of Cheung Chau. It's the oldest continuously inhabited island in Hong Kong. Cheung Chau lies about a half-an-hour ferry ride out into the eastern reaches of the mouth of the Pearl River on the edge of the South China Sea. Cheung Chau was named for one of the area's most famous pirates, Cheung Chau, who was dubbed the Prince of Pirates many years ago. He and his band raided fishing boats and cargo boats for years, and his favorite hiding spot was here.
Hello.
It's just a fishing village for most of the year. No skyscrapers, no business center, and most of all, no vehicles. On the 8th day of the 4th lunar month, Cheung Chau undergoes a transformation. It's time for the Cheung Chau Bun Festival. Its formal name is the Peaceful Taoist Sacrificial Ceremony, and it seems like everyone from Hong Kong and all over China shows up when it takes place for 3 days on this remote island outpost. The Bun Festival is a spiritual festival with gods to honor and ghosts to feed. So the local temple to Pacelli is filled with people. Pacelli is the Taoist god of the sea, and since Cheung Chau is an island of fisherfolk, they believe he has the power to bestow smooth sailing for the fishing fleet and good catches for the crews. It's here they come to pay their respects. The festival is about buns, thousands of them, complete with their own special imprint, an imprint for long life. These are sweet buns, made of rice flour and lotus paste, a special recipe just for the Bun Festival. But it's not so much how many you eat, but it's how many you give away. That's what the Bun Festival's all about, giving to the gods, giving to the ghosts, and giving to other people, and increasing your own good fortune as a result. No human can eat any of the buns until the gods are given theirs first. That's why they're also called the nether buns, for the gods of the netherworld have first draw. Right now, the buns are all headed in one direction, down to the temple to build a tower of buns. These skills, like everything else on the island, have been handed down one generation to the next. With their abilities as boat builders, the local people set to building the Bun Towers, which will reach about 60 feet into the sky. In a tradition that dates back through the centuries to the time that seafaring men made their boats of bamboo, so too are the towers here made of bamboo, even fashioned in a way to resemble the boats. The towers are built down on the docks where the early fishermen kept their boats. In fact, they found a lot of bones from the early inhabitants here, and they built the towers right over the place where the bones were found. You see, it's their ghosts that are hungry because the bad luck struck them all and no one was left to pray for them. It takes a lot of yo-heave-ho to lift the towers into place. You can almost hear them calling out the rhythm as the tower builders hoist their work into place on the scaffold. When they finally rise into position, the bun towers kind of feel like the masts of a ship waiting to be filled with canvas. Only in this case, the towers aren't going to be filled with canvas, they'll be filled with 10,000 buns on each tower. That's 30,000 lucky buns. In order to get them on the towers, the buns have to be sewn together, almost like a seaman weaving his net to catch fish, only in this case they want to catch good fortune. So one by one they slide the buns into place using needle and thread, the ages-old custom. In fact, an 81-year-old man, Chan Lam, is the authority on building the bun towers. He's been building them for more than 50 years and hopes to pass his skill on to the next generation. Towers to be filled with buns to feed the hungry spirits, and when the hungry spirits are fed, the buns will go to the people. The Bun Festival is very much a spiritual event. The monks at the Taoist temple are in charge. After all, it was their idea to hold the festival to appease the gods and take care of the hungry ghosts. They called upon the gods to tell them what to do with the hungry ghosts. In order to entertain the gods, the monks needed to create this festival. And like all good festivals, this one centered around a feast to feed the many different gods at the many different levels. The Bun Festival is a spiritual festival with gods to honor and ghosts to feed. So the local temple to Pei Ti is filled with people. In fact, there are so many people, there's a special temporary temple built just for the Bun Festival. These 3 days are not just competition for the attention of the gods, but competition for local groups who perform ancient rituals in front of village elders, whose admiration and approval they seek. The rhythmic beating is meant to scare the ghosts and leave room on the island to welcome the gods. After the ghosts are placated, the lions take center stage. The lion was chosen by decree of the Taoist monks who first organized the Bun Festival. The lions dance to please the gods after the demons have been purged, and they dance to entertain the gods before their meal of buns. It's also a competition for high honors for tomorrow's parade. On the morning of the last day of the festival, before the big parade, we begin at Lantau Island to celebrate a national holiday, Buddha's birthday. In one of the special ceremonies marking the 2,650th birthday of Buddha is a bath that locals give to a precious statue. Bathing the Buddha with reverence and a purified mind are said to lead to a flourishing, fulfilling, wholesome, blissful, and enlightened life. At the end of the ceremony, many of those here drink some of the water that's been used to bathe the Buddha, hoping that his blessings through the water will help keep them pure. More than 40,000 people are on hand to witness the Pu Sik Parade, which means floating, colorful parade. We see children almost floating, shoulder high above the crowd, dressed as heroes and fairies, held aloft and closer to the gods as they're paraded through the village. The children take this very seriously. They've been chosen from among all the others on the island, and it's a great honor for them to be selected to perform in this way, and it brings a lot of honor to their families, too. To us, it seems nearly impossible that the children can float by the way they do, but the secret is that they're secured by a steel frame that's camouflaged by the props that surround them. All this creates the illusion that the children are just kind of gliding through the air. Being selected for this parade doesn't make life easy. It's a very demanding role. Each child represents a character from the past, so the parade is really a pageant of living history where stories are told and retold, and the children represent heroes and demons. There's the makeup, which takes some time to apply, and each step has a lot of meaning. How well the children do and their guides and handlers all has a bearing on the position they'll hold in the parade. The better they're judged, the more prominent a position they'll be in for the crowd to see, occupying a special place of honor in the history lesson of this day. Once they're hoisted atop the frame, the children are tied on to prevent accidents, and then they're ready to go. All year long, groups and clubs have been preparing for the challenge that comes with being a part of this parade. With their flags held high, every neighborhood and association becomes visible and proudly seeks to ensure their portion of good fortune for the future. The whole point of this parade is to keep the gods happy. There are a lot of them in attendance. The villagers make sure to bring their own gods along to make sure that no deity is overlooked. Powerful gods, weaker gods, and those who take care of the things that matter to the local people all come along to the Pacelli parade. All year long, groups and clubs have been preparing for the challenge that comes with being a part of this parade. Marching bands, colorful floats, children telling a story through dance and mime, working hard to be judged by people in this world and spirits in the netherworld. The local folks who take part in this procession practice for it. It's the way they've chosen to pass their history and traditions from the time of the pirates until today, and will keep passing it on this way to their own sons and daughters, and to their sons and daughters. In many ways, the people who take part in this parade are recreating the history of their culture, bringing it back to life so that people remember where they came from, and it helps guide them towards the future. And since none of their history is in written form, this is the way they pass it from one generation to the next. The gods did appear. The first god is the Red Mountain God, who protects all earthly elements in Cheung Chau. The White God appears, the god of protection, the god of the seas who protects the fishermen. God of the underworld, the most powerful god in Chinese lore. The hungry ghosts wait their turn as their restless spirits stand aside for the gods to lead the way. And before any human could eat a bun, we hold a feast for the gods, a nether feast to keep the gods happy with the people of Cheung Chau and those who came to help celebrate. Mostly, people burn incense as a way to keep the gods happy. In their view, they see incense as the intermediary to the gods, since the smoke of the incense disappears into the region of the gods, the netherworld. Now, the more incense you burn, the more devotion you make to the gods. And by burning incense during the Bun Festival, that's the way to invite lingering spirits to enjoy the offerings. The good gods have been honored and revered, so they'll bestow good fortune on Cheung Chau in the year ahead. And the offerings to the gods have been consumed by the fire that sends the incense into the heavens. The underworld spirits are content. The island will be peaceful until the next Bun Festival is celebrated once again, and the people of Cheung Chau once more bring their history back to life.